Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn 34. Let's jump into things. Okay, so we've got a little bit going on, but not a crazy amount. We have finished Evocation 3 on our way up, and Thaumaturgy 2 on our way up to Thaumaturgy 4. Game plan. Fast Voice of Apsu, got nothing. Didn't find anything with Enchantress 1. And then we witnessed a battle between Pan and Kailasa. And we have our own battle in the Trackless Waste. So let's watch the Pan-Kailasa battle real quick. So this is just a big old stack of Maenads, Berserker, Claw, Free Spawn, Chaff. Very, very meh. But it's Free Spawn Chaff for them, I believe. But it's actually up against a weird little posse from Kailasa. Some Yavanas and Buyakas, a Swarmcaster. Also, so this Yakshini is incredibly valuable, and the AI is dumb, but the Yakshini actually does some work. So, cast some Swarm, cast a Water Elemental. Right. It's another water elemental out there. Actually doing a little bit of damage to these Maenads before getting surrounded and killed. Oh, I think they're actually like... Because Maenads are not great. About the only thing that's really good about them is berserking. And the fact that they're respawn. But I could see a world where, like, I could see a scenario where this setup actually does potentially route these Maenads, right? If all of the parts and pieces of this hadn't gone out in, like, waves, right? Because it was like the Yavanas and the Bandars went out and they got killed separately, and then the Swarm hit and it got killed separately, and then each of the Elementals hit and got killed separately. So it was this scenario where, like, all of these parts and pieces, if they had hit together, they might have been able to route the Maenads. So, like, just a simple hold and attack order on all these units with the Swarm, and then a Elemental close behind, right, might have been enough to put up a good fight against the Maenads and actually popped them. Anyways, it's irrelevant. It's the AI of a large nation fighting the not AI of another large nation. Anyways, we've got a battle in the Trackless Wastes. And this is a whole bunch of our units against a whole bunch of really nothing. So, yeah, look at those. We got a couple of our Mushushus that we're getting with that quickness cast that are scary. So we lose one Urguard in that. Got some events. Unexpected event in the Fever Fens. We've got a Peddler, who we basically rob. Got 2 Air Gems, 2 Astral Pearls, nice. 1 Death Gem, and -1 gold. We've got 260 gold in Sinkhole Swamp, as a Priest of Nazar has been blessing the crops throughout the province. Very good for us, especially considering our misfortune. And on the same turn, we have an unexpected event in the Trackless Waste, which we just took, where a local lawgiver has caught a traitor. And we get another 177 gold. We do get some unrest and Black Tower Shield. So that's a bunch of gold. About a little over 400 gold. Extra gold this turn, which is very nice. Very, very nice. That is not something we typically have been getting, because we're misfortune. Entrance to the fortification of Trackless Waste has been popped, and our troops are starving in the Trackless Waste. We knew this was probably going to happen. This was entirely avoidable. I was hasty in this, and I've kind of like doubled down on this decision. This is a dumb decision. I should have, last turn, I should have been like, oh shit, I don't have good options here. Let's either just hold in Delca or move back to Neotha and then send in some Galas. I didn't do that. That's a dumb move. And it might end up costing us. Realistically, if we get hit by a large enough force, it could rout us because we're starving. So that's our own dumb fault. My hubris, right? And even if we don't run into a big force and get routed due to our low morale starvation, right, we are also gonna gain diseases on an already pretty wounded army. So that's very dumb of us. Okay? That being said, we are going to go ahead and storm the castle here this turn. Trackless Wastes apparently is fucking awesome. It's got a broken tower, a thorn maze, a lava lake, and a canyon of wild winds. This is 2, 4, 6, 7 gems just in this fucking province alone. That's crazy. That's a very good. Very, very good. So we're gonna try to we're storming the castle this turn. We're gonna see how it goes. I am gonna actually it's fine. Okay. They'll make it in before anyone else does. We do have this army here, this 90 units of Bakemonosho's, Koonis, and Aonis. It is possible that he tries to hit me here in Trackless Wastes. I think we still win this fight, even though we are starving and hurt. And then the plan there is after we storm the castle, if we win, right, and we storm the castle and we're successful, next turn we're going to drop a lab here. If there's not a lab already, there might be a lab already. That's one of those things, like, I feel like you're... I don't know. Holy shit! Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. And then the point will be to grab some of these bags of wine, right? And then we won't have to worry about our supply usage as much. We'll be more okay. But that being said, we're still really hoping that Lanka does the majority of the work over here, and that we can be done with this pretty shortly. Okay? I think Fomoria has been hitting Javal Kish, trying to take this, seemingly unsuccessfully, which is very interesting. What else is going on? We're doing a little bit of movement with some Enkidu Elders. Recruitment-wise, we are getting a Gudu in Agartha. We're actually getting some more Enkidu Elders in Garena to kind of like deal with our new territories. We are we're finishing up recruitment of an Enchantress over in Koenberg and getting some other units. And we are recruiting a new NC and our regular units in because we're sending out our NC2 with his army. He's going to hit Koenberg first, pick up some casters and some reinforcing units. Got a couple units here. And then he's probably going to head down towards Forest of Springs and do Forest of Springs and Belagor. And that's it. That's the plan. We'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed. We are recruiting. We'll have our first shaman next turn. That shaman's going to walk around, basically, and try to site search. The next shaman, we're going to do another shaman immediately afterwards, and the next shaman is going to probably pop over to and hopefully start casting Arcane Probing every turn, because hopefully we will have enough of an Astral Pearl income by the time he gets around to that. Speaking of which, we are doing Dark Knowledge now every turn with Bone 1, which is going to be good. Fingers crossed. And research-wise, we will be finishing Thaumaturgy 3 this turn, but not Thaumaturgy 4. We will need one more turn for that. So my math was right on that. And then after that, we've got some options. So, what are our options? Where do we want to go? Well, we could Head Up Enchantment or Earthblood Deepwell. Okay, we've talked about this as a potential option. Earthblood Deepwell is great. We go into Earthblood Deepwell, get that going, and then we do something like Riches from Beneath, right? And this isn't great for us again because we have kind of meh scales, but it's still gonna boost things for us, right? Potentially we wouldn't even want to do it depending on it. But Earthblood Deepwell allows us to do a lot of different things. Let's see how it goes. Alternatively, we could go for Duration. And the main goal there being to break ourselves into multiple other paths. Specifically, some of the best routes there are Lamia Queens. And since we have things like Mother Oak up, we can spit out a lot of Lamia Queens very quickly. Okay. We can also do other things like, I don't know, Wild Hunt or whatever. But anyways, another option is, and this is probably the option that we will favor, is probably Alteration for mass protection. So hitting Alteration is going to give us several options. One of those options is going to be mass protection. The other option is going to be transformation. And since we have Mother Oak, I feel pretty good about going for transformation and spamming transformation, specifically because we can recruit Enkidu Shamans. And part of the problem, Enkidu Shamans are amazing. They're ridiculously amazing. They're Earth 2, Nature 3, right out of the gate. They get 100% chance to be better, right? Even the water ones, right? The water ones allow us to do foul vapors pretty easily, if that's something that we want to do. And they do come with poison resistance, so it's very nice. And they're strong enough to do things like Serpent's Blessing anyways. So, an amazing unit. Alternatively, if they don't go water, you can get an Earth 3 mage. Very easy to have an Earth 4 mage with some boots. And then all of a sudden they're in Earth 5 with summon Earth power, and you can do basically any of the buffs that you want to do in the game. Very, very strong. Same type of scenario with nature. If you random the nature, you have a nature 4. They can do the Gaia's Blessing, which puts them up to nature 5. If they need to have a Thistle Mace, they can easily have a Thistle Mace on this nation, nature 6. And they can do any nature buff that they want to do. So Enkidu Shamans are ridiculously amazing. They also have a supply bonus of 30 and really good health so that they don't just pop in situations. What's the problem? 275 gold. That's the fucking problem. And it's 220 gold per year. Sheesh. Just having like 5 or 10 of these sons of bitches will just drain your economy like it's nothing. But there is a handy dandy helpful way to get around this, and that handy dandy helpful way is transformation. So when you transform a unit, most of the time, I think there are just a handful of ones that this doesn't work for, but most of the time when you transform a unit, their upkeep goes to 0 because they turn into a monster, okay, like a summoned unit. The problem with this is a couple of different things, right? There are bad chances. So you have a chance of failure at 20%, right? And it's reduced or increased by luck and misfortune, okay? So that's a problem, right? Or misfortune. So we're going to have an increased chance of these going bad. Which is why we were kind of avoiding this in the first place, even without Mother Oak, because I kind of feel like Mother Oak's one of those things of you don't want to spam an 8 gem cost thing without having a pretty good income. I guess you can, but this is dicey, right? Because we have a high chance of these transformations going awry. And even if we don't care about the loss of the gems too terribly much, this is still 275 gold every time we want to do this. If we're losing that every single time, ugh, fuck. But a couple times, here's the thing, is I don't need to do this a crazy amount. I just need it to work a few times. We just need to get lucky a few times. And here's the interesting part, right? We can, in theory, try to rig this. Hey, luck 3, right? We can drop a lab down in a place like Delca, kind of away from things, and cast it over there. So, because I think it's, I could be wrong. I don't think it's like what your scales naturally are. I think it's where you are casting it. What is the current luck, right? I absolutely could be wrong on that, but this is something we might look into. We might look into kind of trying to rig a location that is Enkidu shaman land, basically, where we're trying to increase our success rate with transformations. So that's an option. That, again, we've got a couple of different options. Enchantment, alteration, conjuration are kind of our go-tos. I think we are probably leaning more towards alteration right now. Because even if we don't get, or even if we don't utilize transformation a lot, we'll probably use it a little bit. And mass protection is just incredibly useful. And we can definitely cast this relatively easily, right? So, and even if we don't, like, if this isn't the route that we necessarily want to go, right? Alteration is where we get Army of Gold and Army of Lead, which we would absolutely want to have eventually. So, alteration is a really, really strong option for us. Is probably going to be the route that we end up going sooner rather than later. However, we do still have Ugalus in Conjuration 5, which are, again, still very, very good. And we have Apkalus at Conjuration 8, which are also very, very good. And one of the reasons why I'm probably going to head towards Alteration first instead of Conjuration is because we still only had 3 air gems per turn. And we still have 0 astral pearls per turn. If over the course of the next 15 to 20 turns, while we're doing Alteration and other things, if that changes, if we get a good stockpile or a good income of air gems, same for astral, then we can look at Conjuration and be like, okay, it's Conjuration time. Let's do this. Otherwise, Conjuration is one of my favorite paths, and I love it on but if we can't get the gems, we can't get the gems. We'll probably end up dipping to 5 anyways, just to pick up, like, Howl. So why not? And then, like, the summons. Summon Earth Elemental, summon Water Elemental, those types of things are all very easy for us to do. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the turn. Kind of a basic turn, honestly. We'll see how the war with Yomi goes. We'll see how vulturing Kailasan lands go. We'll see how quickly Pan decides to turn on me and slaughter me. We'll see a lot of things. But yeah, fingers crossed. Alright, I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.